Welcome to the Warren Andrew Pinder podcast with your host, Warren Andrew Pinder, author and speaker.
Welcome to the Warren Andrew Pinder podcast show. Today's episode is Challenges Spark Determination. Challenges we will face is how we look at the challenges we are faced with. If we were to begin to think of all the challenges that we have gone through in our lives, you would quickly understand that it was the tenacity and determination that would have allowed you to overcome. There's so many challenges I personally have encountered. One in particular recently for me, I had a phobia with, for some strange reason, I just have a phobia with little passwords and internet. I can't remember my password for the life of me. I write them down. It's just something I know that you're protecting something so valuable. So I just treat it as if, it's something that, I'm just so I tend and I thought that I'd look to the experts to deal with it. But I found myself in a scenario where, relying on an expert, the expert thought that, he would actually take my email account. He took over my email account. And that's a challenge that I've been having to hassle and fight, because if you know anything about Google, that's the hardest thing in the world to retrieve. They tell you if it's a business account, yeah, they'll be able to assist, but a personal account, no deal. So that's a challenge that, went deep to the core, in that here you have now someone that owns your email account. There are persons that may have been writing me emails that I can't get. I had to go to the utility companies and, give them a new email address to get my utility bills. If I wanted to log on an instrument, so forth, it was just, I did not have control. So there's this challenge. But the mere determination that here you have something so personal to you, something you never thought about it, but it's like you controlling my space. So you begin to, the determination to drive would propel you to try everything possible. But even though that went deeper and, it could have segued into something catastrophic, that I began to realize that I had a challenge on my hand. Thank God for the circle and the network around me to be able to reach out in many ways to try and, correct the wrong. But this was a challenge that affect you in so many ways, that your determination to protect your character, to protect your personal content, to protect simply, your job, the determination came from within. So we're gonna be faced many times with different challenges. But when those challenges come, definitely you cannot fold. You have to square up and face them with authority. You have to speak to someone. You have to maybe go to that mentor that we spoke about. Go to the confidant. Some challenges in life are so personal that it's difficult to discuss. And of course, you must guard some things in your life. You don't want to incriminate yourself or, person judging you, not knowing the full facts. But I just give you a personal challenge that I encountered, that I had to become so determined that today, yes, it would be good to have my email account back, but I had to work to try and to ensure that no more damages was done. So when you are faced with having to deal with these challenges that can become life-changing, challenges that may put you in a dark place, challenges that may scar you, you have to determine in your mind that nothing is going to stop you from facing them on the side of right. You have to, if you believe that, it's something that is not, the challenge isn't what, is defaming you, or you are, being wrongly accused or threatened. The challenge that that you're gonna need support, whether financial or psychological. Challenges that you may need to be clothed or housed, or maybe even food to eat. These type challenges, only one's determination will rise to overcome them. Remember the challenges that you are faced with. So remember them so that when you could identify if ever something like that is going to happen again. Don't hold malice or grudge. Just thank God that He allowed you to overcome. Pray for wisdom and understanding. Always speak to others. Speak to others for advice. You'll find that your challenges are another person's as well. You could share thoughts on how you were able to get around or, turn the situation around, basically. But it's first in accepting that I need to be resolute and determined at what is at hand. This is no time to joke around. This is a time for you to stand on integrity. This is a time for you to man up. A time I'm trying to liken a challenge of different scenarios, but a challenge of a young man, having to face the courts. And, he's been trying to find a job. He have fine to pay and he can't find the money to pay that fine. But, his challenge is that because he have that criminal record, he can't get that job. And no one is giving him that opportunity to hire him. But like I said, he has to become determined either to make something happen that he can earn that money, or make someone believe in him. And that's where it goes right back down to having a mentor. Where you start doesn't determine where you end. But in between the start and the end, there's a lot of experience to be gained, to be shared. Challenges we will all be faced with. Some big, some small, some detrimental, but it's in being determined and forthright to face them head on up is what will allow you to overcome them. So many of us today are faced with challenges and don't know where to start. I could not tell you that I would know exactly your situation or, the scenario of your challenge. But I can say that if you look within and begin to take action to deal with them, the sense of determination will drive home the fact and drive you to head on face and attack the challenges that need to be addressed, eradicated, or removed.
Thank you for joining today's podcast. We'll be right back.
Achieve Men, written by Warren Andrew Pinder. In this book, you will learn the 7 steps to achieving your dreams and goals. Given the vision to share how the acronym of the word achieve can be used systematically in your day-to-day life. Each of us is given a unique gift from God. Get your copy today. Available in print, ebook, and audiobook from Amazon.
We now return to today's podcast.
We can't allow challenges to hover above us. We can't allow or predetermine what we can or cannot do because of a challenge. This is somewhat of a very controversial topic in that a lot of the challenges that we face are self-inflicted. I know people in the Bahamas that have challenges because of the laws, because they were born, to parents that were not Bahamian at the time. they're faced with a challenge at the age of 18 to apply for, their Bahamian status. But that's just a challenge. There are other challenges that, may restrict you from doing exactly what you need to do, what you want to do. There are challenges of you really addressing real hardcore problems in your life. Problems that determine where you live, problems that determine how you eat and how you feed your family. So it's just something that all I know is that you have to be determined not to let the challenges overcome you. You have to reach out to the experts. You have to get hungry, and you have to, want to overcome it. You cannot let it just shape and mold your thoughts toward you becoming successful at whatever it is you are faced with. So the deep determination, like really sinking in, and nothing is going to stop you from overcoming such a challenge. So, you want to have that mindset that I will conquer my challenges. You want to educate yourself about it. You want to give thought. You don't want to be in haste, but at the same time, be determined to see it through. As I said, it's just so many challenges that we can speak about. No one knows exactly what that challenge is, but we all have a particular challenge that we have to overcome. And the only way to do it is, one, by recognizing that it's something that challenges you. Two, by taking the appropriate action to get advice, to ask someone how, to assist you with the challenge, but not to fall. The spark that you get from it, will ignite so much determination if you really see the challenge as something that is important for you to overcome. So don't run away from challenges. Don't allow challenges to hold you back. Don't be afraid. Don't become afraid when challenges, come before you. My challenges, my example of a challenge, my personal life, as I said to you, is that, after I've done all that I could and realized that, it was a dead end, at least in my heart, knowing that I did the right thing, and that even though the challenges of the situation was such a way, dealing with such a crafty person, that it would have made me look, guilty on all fronts, as he intended for it to be. I thank God for the determination, along with the support of others, to get to the root, go as far as I could with trying to conquer that challenge. Even though I may not have been 100% successful, I know that I had put forth my best, and I feel good about it. I feel that I did the right thing, knowing my innocence. I feel that, sometimes we look at a lot of bigger things. Some people can say, man, I have a bigger challenge, but it's nothing like when your challenge is your name. Your name is all you got. So if there ain't nothing other to want to fight for, it's that name. And you present the best case, because you don't want anything ever to tarnish your good name. And this is where, I stand on the fact that your challenge can spark a determination in your life to do great things. Persons and organizations and individual accomplishments that you may be a part of, a lot can be determined by how you are able to overcome the challenge. Just think for a moment that you're a healthy person with 2 arms, and you're placed in a situation and you're complaining because you have to lift a box or a bag, a small distance to your car. But You can drive right down the street and see a young man without an arm lifting a sack of cement. Or you can think of a person without, a foot. And that's a great challenge to him. But your challenge is, because you don't have proper shoes, you're not making that trek to get where you want to go. So it's just what you put in perspective. When you find that, the challenge, when you get to the point where you know that that man without that foot has to put on that prosthetic because he's going to do what he has to do. Well, you with your challenge need to spark that regardless of the shoe that you have on your feet. You got to be determined, just like the man with the prosthetic or the man without the arm, because their challenges are life-changing. Yours, too, must be determined in the same vein that is how I'm going to address it. You've been listening to the Warren Andrew Pinder podcast show. Always remember in life, you must take action.
Thank you for listening to the Warren Andrew Pinder podcast. We hope you were encouraged and moved to take action. For more information about Warren Andrew Pinder and his book, Achieve Men, visit www.warrenandrewpinder.com.